30-odd% of the people that we have spoken to are on soldier settlement blocks. Now, 2025 was the actual centenary of when our soldier settlement blocks were given out. That in itself is a direct disregard of our legacy and our forefathers.
G'day everyone, welcome to the Bothy. I'm Chris.
G'day, I'm Al.
Today, mate, we're going to talk about good people doing good things. And it's fair to say our good news stories don't always get a bucket load of views, so let's hope this one does.
No.
Anita Donlon of Let's Get Rural is one of those people, and Let's Get Rural exists only to put a smile on the dial, mate. That is literally all they're there for. To engage with small businesses, rural communities, to thank them and the volunteers among them for their hard work, their selflessness, and giving back to the society that keeps our great nation going. Because without the CFA and the SES and all the other volunteers, Lions clubs, all of those volunteers, where would we be?
We'd be in the shit.
Exactly right. I was lucky enough to sit down and have a chat with Anita in Coburn last weekend, where Let's Get Rural was hosting a day out at the Colbo pub to thank and support the local community. So Jessie Jackson performed for a couple of hours on the acoustic guitar. She was really good. Great voice, real Aussie husky voice.
Was it like Aussie country and western?
Yeah, I was international music. She sang quite a few of her own songs, which were really good. And then you'd do one of hers and then 3 or 4 big hits from around the world.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up. I'm getting more into country music.
Yeah, no, she was really good. Just her and a guitar. I love that.
Yeah.
Sitting you down at a bar with a beer and an acoustic guitar. Awesome. She was followed by Brett Hunter, who's a true blue Aussie comedian who tells his own life stories, but in a really funny way.
Yep.
Really funny guy. He had us laughing from line 1 right through to the end, and then got a few people up to do some crazy stuff at the end. It was pretty funny. It was free to attend. All their shows are free to attend. No charge. Just show up as a community. Here's a thank you. Come along and join us. So a few drinks. I had an Irish Parma.
What's in an Irish Parma?
It's a Parma with chips and veggies with cold cannon on top.
Oh.
With the mash and the cabbage, onion, bacon, and melted cheese over the top.
Nice. That sounds all right.
It was beautiful, mate.
Wow.
Gravy in the cheese. Mate. It was divine.
I am so hungry now.
It was absolutely beautiful. You should have been there, mate, because I couldn't finish it. And
I would have finished it.
And Claire had filled up beside me.
Unfortunately, I had a 90th birthday party to go to.
Oh, well. So they're currently on a run of 8 shows across 8 towns, all paid forward by the Criterion Hotel in Rochester. Let's Get Rural rely on fundraising, of which they have a raffle going at the moment on their 1,000 Paddocks website that keeps them going and keeps the entertainment free. So far, they have visited 300 communities.
Wow.
I know. And conducted over 1,000 welfare checks to those that have reached out for mental wellbeing support from rural Australia.
Oh, good on them, man.
Exactly
good on
right.
them.
Their mission is simple: to provide social and economic support to rural Australians, one community at a time. And that's what they're doing. And the only way they can get the funds is through their own fundraising. They don't draw a wage.
Yep.
It's just there's all volunteers, and they just go from town to town with their show around Victoria and put a smile on people's faces.
Beautiful. I tell you, we need a smile, don't we?
Exactly right. So this crew care and share. That's what I love about them. It's mate helping mates. If you're in a position to be able to support their raffle, please do. They're selling tickets for a prize of $2,000 to assist with paying for household bills. So if you win the raffle, you send them bills worth $2,000 and they'll pay the bills for you. Oof, it's pretty good.
Happy days.
And I think that's about $10 a ticket. I think there's not that many tickets. It's only about 1,000 tickets. So you
got half a chance
to get in. Anything that will relieve cost of living pressure would be good at the moment. And then all the rest of the proceeds go to it pays forward to their next shows.
Nice.
So here's my chat with Anita. She's a long-time politically aligned and engaged executive, long time with the Liberal Party.
Yep.
I'll get that out early. But Let's Get Rural is apolitical, so there's no political tie there. She's also a volunteer. She's also a business owner, an entrepreneur, but not in the way we see entrepreneurs. She's an entertainer, a manager, a poet. She reads a poem in this speech that is second to none. And she's a mental wellbeing coach.
Good
She's a fantastic person.
Sounds like a right all-rounder.
Full of life and vim. So please enjoy this interview that I do with her.
All right. So, Anita, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Not quite in the Bothy, but we're in a beautiful spot.
We are.
Coburn, Evan.
Yes,
Yeah. The solos behind us and the pub on the other side.
How
Pretty
cool
good.
is that silo?
I know. They're just unreal, aren't they?
And there's a whole silo trail. So if any of your viewers have never been on it, just it's amazing artwork.
Yeah. We've put a few of these photos of the solos on our show before, and they really are spectacular.
Yeah, they are.
So let's jump in. Tell us a bit about Let's Get Rural. How did it come about? What made you kick it all off?
Well, Let's Get Rural has been around for 10 years this year.
Wow.
And if anyone said to me,
year.
Yeah, if anyone said to me, 10 years and 330 odd communities, I would have gone, really?
Yeah.
But no, it's been an interesting journey. I started, well, actually, I'll take you right back. Let's Get Rural actually started as Beef It Up Australia. And that came at a time when there was the drought, the flood, the fire, Cyclone Yasi, the live cattle export ban back in 2008, 9, 10, particularly up in the top end of Australia. So we were part of a national foundation, which I was invited to join the board of. They saw what I was doing previous to that. I've been in the entertainment industry for decades, touring, managing, promoting, and I've worked with the top of the top and the bottom of the bottom and everyone in between. Musicians, comedians, all sorts of entertainers. And I've done that because I see the benefit and the difference in people when they get entertained. So I said to the board, who are now, the foundation's no longer, they finished their scope of work and they achieved what they wanted to. So I said to the board at the time, I've got this project, and they said, love it. I resigned and I have been running this ever since. All volunteer. We're all volunteers. There's not one paycheck that goes out. There's no cars. There's no flashy offices. There's nothing. There's no big marketing. Well, there's no marketing budget. We all chip in our own dollars to make things happen, because we know that if somebody is going to give $1, they want to know where that dollar's going. And that we're just very transparent and very accountable, and we deliver. And so unlike a lot of the other organisations that are out there, we started out very humble. The founder of this particular foundation, he's a third-generation cattleman. He's got 85,000 acres. And I remember the one thing he said to me. He said, never make an example out of me. And I got that because I grew up on a farm in South Australia. And my parents, well, by the time I was 13, I saw things that I should never have seen as a 13-year-old, suicides and all the rest of it. Because of the droughts, the floods, the fires, mice plagues, locust plagues. I still remember walking out as a kid and having all these locusts and waking up and there's mice. Anyway, no wonder I got a phobia about them now. But Beef It Up Australia was basically started as a mental wellbeing and a social connection project, and basically to also say to our farmers and their families and their communities, and basically the glue of the fabric of our society, we are here for you. And we appreciate you. We are apolitical at Let's Get Rural.
Yeah.
But I'm very political. Everyone that knows me personally, they know which side of the fence I sit on. So just coming back to the Beef It Up Australia concept, we also were very heavily involved in making sure that outback and rural communities had the resources and services that they needed. So there was a lot of advocacy going on. Fast forward to now, 1st of July, we became our own entity, and Let's Get Rural basically came about because of COVID. Even though COVID was pretty shitful for a lot of people, we took an opportunity, and because we weren't able to actually take our troupe of entertainers to the people, we decided that, hang on, our publicans are the glue of our community. They are the current custodian of the building. And they deliver so much to a community. They're the counsellor, they're the financier, they support their community, they employ their community. And so their mental well-being was very, very important back then, because it was like, well, hang on, they can't open their doors, they still got to pay their rent, they still got to power, all the rest of it. So we started to connect in with communities like that, and that's where Let's Get Rural came from.
Okay. Now it's huge. So we're up in Coburn, Evan, today to do a show. What is this to benefit, I guess?
Well, ironically, in August, when we had our first round table, I'll call it the round table because we were sitting literally at a round table, we decided what part of the community doesn't get the thanks. You know, we have our farmers, okay, it's part of the business. We thank them, most people do. Small business, you know, our mantra is we support the small businesses, the truckies and all the rest of it. But then we looked at the whole landscape of a rural community and we came down to the fact of our volunteers. So it doesn't matter if it's CFA, SES, CWA, Lions, service clubs, whatever. Our communities run on volunteers. And we looked at it because we thought, how lucky are we that we were able to pick up our branding from Beef It Up, move it into Let's Get Rural, and by default, we had a ready-made base of volunteers. So we decided in August that we would give thanks to our volunteers.
Right.
Then, of course, we had the bushfires in January. But prior to that, in 2022, just up the road, 23 minutes up the road, and even Coburn, they've been flooded as well. But Rochester was flooded and it was devastating. And it brought a tear to my eye. The Unsociable Social Club at the Criterion Hotel in Rochester held a fundraiser because the publican said, if I raise some money, X amount, I will shave my pink bits. And his pink bits was his goatee and his mohawk. Right. Well, lo and behold, they reached that target. So they donated the money on the proviso that it would go to rural communities for our purpose of saying thanks to our volunteers because they understood the volunteer value in Rochester.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here. So this is the first lot. In December, thanks to our Give Thanks, our Shop on Us raffle that we ran, we were able to do 4 communities. So we did a show in the shed in Gornong, in the CFA shed. That was pretty cool. They just moved the trucks out. We went to Pecola, we went to Newbridge, and we went to somewhere else and I can't remember now, and I'm sorry to the community that I can't remember where it was. But anyway, so we did 4.
Yep.
And then, of course, the fires in January happened. And so by that time, we'd actually launched our current raffle where, again, we like to hold a raffle and then give thanks back to the person who has purchased the ticket into a prize that is actually going to mean something, you know, financially, which will impact their life. And so we came across, well, everyone's got bills.
Yeah.
And so we thought, well, all right, let's give away $2,000. And so what will happen is if you win it, you send us your power bill, your gas bill, your phone bill, your water bill, even your car rego, and we will pay it. And so we're within the laws of fundraising. And so we thought, we'll launch it. Then, of course, January fires came along and, of course, everyone opened their hearts and pockets and were amazing and supported all these communities. And so, of course, now we're now on the big push. We got 3 weeks to go. It's the 13th of April at 5 o'clock is the last time you can get a ticket. Right. It's all done electronically. And it's drawn at 5:15 and I'm going to be ringing some lucky person going, hey.
5:16.
Basically, yeah. Oh, look, there's nothing better than ringing someone to say you've won something. So through the time of our existence in both of the entities, we've raised over $4 million.
Wow.
And we've done marvellous things with that. And not just what we've done with shows, but, things like making sure that rural flying doctor centres were equipped, or there was dentistry, or there were schools, or, there was a whole array of things, but all focused on rural and outback.
Right. So today we've got musicians, we've got comedians, and no charge to the community, just come along to the pub and enjoy.
Yes. So I then stopped and thought, well, we need to create a troupe. So just like I've been involved with acts in the past that have gone over to war-torn or to countries to entertain Australian troops. And I thought, well, okay, let's have a troupe because we're a little army, right? We're a little army and all the beautiful people out there, including anyone who's listening to this and watching this right now, they can all become part of our army, and we create that movement. Yeah. And so I created a troupe. So we have ambassador comedians, musicians. We've got people like Craig McLaughlin. There's another very well-known artist coming on board. I won't mention who, but let's just say the oxymoron of always being happy. We'll leave it at that. And so we basically have created a show. I've created the framework of the show, and our ambassadors actually just make it happen.
Okay, so you also do some work in the mental wellbeing field. Can you tell us a bit about that?
So our philosophy is mental health is when you break your ankle and you need medical intervention. So unfortunately, some people do need that, and we don't touch that. We look at the mental wellbeing aspect, because to us, mental wellbeing is when you sprain your ankle. And when you sprain your ankle, you just got to stay off your ankle for a little bit. Something comes in left field into your life, you feel a little bit off kilter. You're still good. You just got to stay off. And by spraining your ankle, you need to ask a mate to come in and give you a hand. And that's where the mateship is very, very important. So I'd like everyone just to stop and think about that. Do I have mental health issues? Is my mental health bad? Or is it my mental well-being? The other side of it is we look at mental well-being as a good thing sometimes, because you've got to stop and take stock of, well, what's going on. My philosophy is a problem is only a situation that we haven't found a solution for. And 9 times out of 10, our mental well-being gets a little bit off because we think there's a problem.
Yep.
Sit down, stop and think about it. Talk to a mate about it. Write it down. Do whatever you've got to do. But that's the crux of it. Yeah. So we have conversations with people. Since the fires, we've done 81 conversations. Over our time, we've done over 1,300.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I love talking, and I love talking to people, and I'm a very good listener. And unfortunately, what we're seeing being rolled out with the renewable energy push, we'll call it that, is also causing a lot of mental wellbeing issues, because it's the uncertainty, it's the anxiety, it's the
stress.
But it's also the anger and the frustration. And sometimes all of these emotions actually become very, very overwhelming. And that's when we have to take stock. We have to stop and go, okay, this is what I've got in place. This is what we're going to do. You work through it methodically. We're going to bake a cake, and that cake is going to turn out perfect because we're going to follow the recipe. Most people in life don't have that recipe to follow because they haven't planned for it.
So you're writing to the king?
Yes. So we sat down and we thought, as a committee, we thought we have to do something. And we started to look at exactly what is going on with this whole renewable energy push, not just in Victoria, but everywhere. And people are being abused. Their rights are being abused. Their everyday life is being abused. And it's the one thing that the governments aren't picking up on. They have kind of like skimmed over it, but it's the crust of it. So we thought, okay, I'm half English. I love the Royals, even though they're a bit of a shit show at the moment. Well, they probably have been for a long time. But, my nana was a Royalist, and I just like the Royals. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I think I'm more intrigued than anything else. So we decided, let's write to the King, the Prince, the Governor-General and the Governor. And then, of course, we'll be writing to the MPs as well. And then we thought, how are we going to get their attention? Everyone else would have just sent a letter. No, I've written a poem and we're going to laminate it and we're going to make it look all pretty and Australian.
Yep.
And it's going to be a visual. And it is, to me, I think it's pretty good. Everyone else likes it.
Yep.
So we'll just see how it goes.
Can you share with us?
I just so happen to have it here because I was just reading it. But anyway, so here goes, everyone. If you're a poet, message us if you think you can do better. But it is going to be going in the next few days. To the King, the Prince and the Governor's Gate, to the leaders who hold the scales of our fate. A century has passed since the diggers returned to the blocks of red soil that their sacrifice earned. From the soldier settlements, a legacy grew, feeding the nation, the globe and you. But the renewable push now tears at the seam of the social, the fiscal and the environmental dream. Our triple bottom line is fractured and torn as the heritage of generations is treated with scorn. To pave over paddocks for a grid and a wire is to quench the last spark of the rural fire. You bypass the Charter, both state and the UN, ignoring the rights of the women and men. To disregard people, their health and their land is a breach of the trust that a leader should stand. The keepers of soil, the stewards of rain, are silenced by progress and burdened by pain. We call for a halt, an immediate stay, before the last farmer is driven away. Cease every plan, let the mandates be still, and listen to those on the crest of the hill. Go back to the people, the hearts of the scrub, in the hall, on the farm and the regional pub. The land is our lifeblood, the legacy's shield. Do not let the future be lost in the field. The soldier settlement legacy directly connects the current farming generation to the diggers who established these lands over 100 years ago. Our triple bottom line specifically highlights how the energy transition impacts the social, which is the community fabric, the economic, the farming viability, and environmental land health sectors. The human rights, Victorian Charter and responsibilities, and the UN Declaration of the Rights of Pheasants and Rural Workers emphasises that the current top-down approach ignores these protections. The call to action is a clear demand for an immediate cessation and a return to genuine community consultation.
We talk to these farmers and the two things that they say every single time is there's no transparency and there's no communication. And you've nailed it with your poem. Your poem was beautiful. So
thank you. Well, the reason why we do take particular comment on that soldier settlement scenario is because I talk to people and I've spoken to people, farmers right across, and 30-odd% of the people that we have spoken to are on soldier settlement blocks. Now, 2025 was the actual centenary of when our soldier settlement blocks were given out. 60% of those blocks became 40%, which is now 100% of our farming communities. That in itself is a direct disregard of our legacy and our forefathers, of our country, of our sovereign, but more importantly, of the respect of our farmers. It's not just the farmers sitting today dealing with this. I feel for the elderly that are in nursing homes thinking, what's going on? But then I also worry about our future today because they're thinking, well, I just want to do what Pop and Grandpop did and what Dad's doing and uncles and, the family legacy. It's not just about a pylon going through and there's easements. It's somebody's home.
Somebody's life. And
I know that they have forgotten about the humanitarian side because many years ago I helped save a farming community, well, a family, from having their property compulsory acquired by the City of Greater Bendigo. So I went to Spring Street with the family and with 2 generations, and I sat in front of that minister and he didn't want to hear anything. And this family were distraught. They were sitting there crying and he turned to me and he said, as their advocate, what have you got to say? Would you like add anything else? And he was really arrogant. And I said, yeah, go home. You look at those photos on your mantelpiece and on your wall of your family. How would you like it if somebody came and did this to you? And if these 2 women were your family members? And I think everyone should start talking about humanitarian disaster. Murray-Darling Basin, the humanitarian disaster up there, has got nothing on this. This is disgraceful. And it's got to stop. So if everyone just follows us on Let's Get Rural on Facebook.
Buys a raffle ticket.
And
all of the proceeds, obviously, are getting put back into getting out to the communities.
And lifting hope, lifting morale, giving mateship. And, who wouldn't want to win $2,000 to pay your bills? We've got some cracker raffles coming up. We just need people to start going, I want to shout a mate an afternoon out or a night out. You know, I want to say thank you to our fireys. I mean, we're sitting here looking at the CFA shed.
Yeah.
You know, when that pager goes off, and I used to be in the CFS in Adelaide, right? When that goes off, you drop everything. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're there, you jump on and you do it and you give.
Yeah.
And all we're asking is for people to give to us so then we can give back.
Yeah.
And it
back
should
into the
be
community.
relatively simple.
Yes, should be. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate
and
it.
thank you very much for watching, everyone.
So that was Anita, mate. So, yeah, if you can support with the raffle, fantastic. But 81 sessions since the recent bushfires with farmers for their well-being.
Yep.
And she said off camera that some of those sessions aren't a matter of, you know, how's your business going? These people are devastated.
Yeah.
Absolutely devastated.
Yeah.
And the government doesn't care, mate.
No,
We've said this over and over again.
No votes for them. They don't care.
And what does she say? No communication, no transparency. Every single person you talk to in rural Australia says exactly the same thing.
I know.
And now, yeah, on the front of the Herald Sun today, the city people are saying because these towers are going up and they haven't been listened to and they've had all their rights to appeal taken away.
Where are the towers going up?
They're going up in Kew and they're going up in Camberwell. Anyway, let's come right off the topic. How good was the poem?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. Really good.
Whether the king does anything about it or not, I don't know. But it comes back to the fact that this land was given to soldiers as settlement because of what they gave
during the war.
The ultimate.
Yeah. The ultimate sacrifice.
The ultimate sacrifice to our nation.
To be just fobbed off and ignored when it suits them.
We'll just take a bit of that back and a bit of that back.
It's just not right, is it?
These things, these transmission lines are going to run right through it.
Yep.
And they are taking back the very land that they gave to people for sacrificing, you know, a leg or worse.
Yeah. It's
for us to be able to live like we do now. And the way the government thanks them, take it back.
Yep. Steal the land back.
Yep.
I mean, obviously the lefties, we go, it was stolen land anyway, but they're lefties, so we don't care.
Yeah. Exactly right.
But the thing is, they've worked the land, or their families have worked the land for what, 100 years?
160 years in some cases.
And no wonder these farmers feel like they've not got a leg to stand on, and they're like, all I can do is knock myself off because no one gives a shit.
Yep.
And it's just heart-wrenching.
100 years last year since the land was handed up. So 1924. And now it's going to be taken back. Yep.
That's shit.
It is, mate. It is. And yeah, your reaction and my reaction when we go out and see these people is the same every time, mate. We can't understand the pain that they're being put through, and nobody that isn't living their life, that has lived that life for over 100 years can. And what the government needs to understand is that they are destroying, not livelihoods, lives. They are.
And the thing is, it should be more than just votes. These people feed us townies. It's like, if only more people could see what they gave up to like feed the nation, maybe more people would go, oh, wait a minute. The green issue does have some valid things to say, but this is real. This is people's livelihoods we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's a bigger thing.
It is.
For me.
It is. It's much bigger than losing even a paddock of potatoes.
Huge.
It's what people have, the only thing they've known all their life. It's different for us. We go get another job in a different field tomorrow.
I mean,
these guys don't.
Where do they think the food comes from?
Exactly.
It's
exactly
like,
right.
People have got like waking up.
And that's the other issue. If 70% of this land disappears, mate.
We're royally.
Next time.
Royally FUCK'd.
Next time some US president decides to bomb some country and we can't get ships into the nation, or next time China decides I'm going to take Taiwan.
Yep.
They're stuffed.
And it doesn't look like our government have been storing anything away for us, is it?
It's fair to say they haven't been prepping.
No. No. Which is, well, after seeing the way they run things, it isn't really a surprise, is it?
It's a joke. So let us know what you think, everybody. If you can support the raffle, please do. Please support Let's Get Rural and 1,000 Paddocks any way you can. these people are literally going from town to town with entertainers such as Craig McLachlan and Jesse Jackson and comedians and another very famous Australian singer who we're not allowed to name, but he looks a little like you, which is interesting.
Yep.
And he's the opposite of happy.
Yep.
And I don't mean sad. So if you can support them, great, because these people are giving up their time, their energy, and they're getting out and supporting the very people who need it the most.
Yep, definitely. Support them, mate.
Exactly right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.